Hi, and to get us started, a few quick logistical reminders. We do have interpretation going on in this meeting, so we just ask that you speak slowly and then also introduce yourself ahead of comments so that folks can understand who's speaking. And I think we do have a relatively smaller group, so I'm wondering if we could just do a quick round of introductions as well. I'll go ahead and pass it over to my colleague at the Air District CAS to get us started.
Hello, my name is Cassandra and I'm with the Valley Air District. I work in the Outreach and Communications Department. And so I'm happy to be here and speak about our outreach efforts. And I'll go ahead and pass it off to Miss Margot.
Hi, I'm Margot Prouse. I'm a resident on the CSC and like to stay informed of what's going on in all the groups. Okay. Oh, I'll pass it to Douglas.
Thank you, Margot. My name is Douglas Fitch. I'm a resident of 716 Subcommittee. Thank you for being here. And I'll pass it to my interpreter, Sonia.
Hello, I'm Sonia Cook and interpreting for NorCal Services for the Deaf, and I'll pass it to Brianna.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Brianna Rubio, and I'm a public health educator with San Joaquin County Public Health Services. Happy to be here, and I'll pass it on to, I believe Kyle is left.
Yeah, am I the last one? Yeah, hey everybody. I'm Kyle Goff. I'm with CARB. Historically, I have been the incentives liaison for CARB, so helping with all things incentives. And like I said earlier this week at the main CSC meeting, that is definitely still true broadly. But I am also now the overall CARB liaison for Stockton, so kind of stepping up my role for sure.
Perfect. I think we have Janice that's left too, right?
Oh yeah, we'll popcorn it over to Janice.
Hi, this is Janice. I'm an interpreter, freelance, but working under NorCal Center for Deafness as well. Thank you.
All righty. Well, thank you all for being here. We'll go ahead and get started. So I believe you guys should have a copy of the agenda. It was emailed out to you guys. And the first thing we're going to talk about is the residential air filtration program. And I know I mentioned a little bit that currently we're in the process of reaching out to the schools in Stanislaus County and San Joaquin County to lean on the superintendents and the school districts, asking them to please help us out and get this information to all of the parents and their faculty as well. Just to let them know that this program exists and it's completely free so long as they reside in the correct boundary in terms of being a low income and disadvantaged community. And so any way that we can get this information out, you know, that's what we would like to do. San Joaquin County has been kind of slow in terms of taking advantage of these funds. And we've got other counties like Fresno County and Madera County that are already closed. We've already hit our capacity. And so we're going to take it to the board and see if we can get more funding. But I would like to discuss just ways that we can help get this word out. Because I think it's important that both those northern counties have the opportunity to take advantage of these funds, because if they don't, then our board might reallocate those funds and say, okay, hey, let's move the money to these counties. And so before that happens, you know, I just we've got a little bit of time to see if there's any ways that we can brainstorm of, you know, getting this information out there. Does anybody have any thoughts or ideas?
Yeah, this is Stephanie. Maybe before we get started, and just in addition to what you all are going to say, I just also wanted to share some efforts that I've been doing in the last couple of days, so we're not duplicating efforts. Of course, all of our CSC members are notified. If you haven't gotten it already, you should be getting it by mail. All the residents and all of our CBOs received packets of flyers for you all to distribute to neighbors, friends, folks that might be interested. Back in April, you all kind of put together some thoughts at our in-person meeting about organizations for us to reach out to. And so we have reached out to those organizations as well. And then in addition, we've kind of done some more like concerted efforts with folks that we think might have really great connections in the community. We've reached out to Sandy Pabin at the Housing Authority. We've also reached out to Vice Mayor Kimberly Wormsley, who came out to our April in-person meeting as well. The San Joaquin County, they came, Leah Finister came to speak about the weatherization program that they have. And so we've kind of done some in-depth outreach there. So that's kind of our starting point. And like Cass is mentioning, we've also reached out to schools and are just kind of wanting to get all of your thoughts on additional things we could still be doing, because like Cass is mentioning, our numbers in Stanislaus County and San Joaquin are a little bit on the lower side compared to other counties. And then in addition, our AB 617 community, there's still a lot of funding to be taken advantage of.
Can you give us an idea of the numbers we're talking about when you say we have a low response?
Sure, I can pull it up for you. Give me 1 second.
And is that for the current program you're talking about, the numbers?
Yes, the program that just launched on Monday.
Yeah, it just launched. But Fresno and Madera, they're already sold out.
Mhm. Yep, we had to close it down. So let's see. So as of this morning, so for Stockton, only 11 applications have come through, and there's $1 million allocated for this group. So with 11 applications, that's only about $2,000 that's been spent out of that 1 million. So that's a big chunk that's still available. And then as the county, for county as a whole, Stanislaus had 43 applications and San Joaquin had 53 applications. When others like, Fresno County had 1,300, Kern County is close to 700. So all the other ones are in the hundreds and above, where the 2 northern counties are the lowest. So we just want to make sure that, people are aware that this is available. It's super simple to apply. If they're having technology issues, we're more than happy to help them. They could call us and we'll do it for them. In fact, half of our day today has been spent doing that, inputting applications for folks that, it's a little bit harder for them.
Did Fresno and Kern have different outreach efforts?
No.
They started on Monday and this is, wow.
Mhm. So I don't understand what the difference is. I do know that some of the folks that I have talked to on the phone are hesitant, asking like, what else, is there a cost associated? What's the catch? And I'm like, it's completely free so long as your address falls within, these boundaries. And I was like, I can happily check for you and see. And so then once we get the ball rolling, they're like, but do I pay for shipping or do I pay for something? I'm like, no, you qualify and I have all your information, and they'll send me their, because we do need proof of residency. So either a water bill or a utility bill of some sort with their name and their address. And then once we upload that into the system, then, it says that they'll be shipped directly their unit. And for some folks, it's still something that they don't wholeheartedly believe is true. And so I kept reassuring them, no, you're good. So, I don't know why in some counties, they're willing to jump all over it, and other counties, not so much. But like I said, we do want to make sure that these residents have the opportunity, to be able to utilize this wonderful grant before we have to shift things around. So like I said, though, we still have some time, but given the things that we are already currently in the process of doing, and we're getting ready to do some more paid advertising to those counties as well, just to make sure that we're covering all of our bases. Yes, Douglas.
Forgive me, Katrina, can you, I know that you're kind of generalizing things. We were referring to county. And you're saying you're advertising. What are you advertising? Are you advertising in San Joaquin? Or are you talking about Fresno? Because when you talk about Fresno, when somebody switches to Fresno, you're talking about Fresno. But when you're talking about county, you're switching, and I don't know where the county you're referring to. But anyway, set aside, I'm more concerned that I have my the filter, and it worked really good. I love it. It clears my sinus. I know that I don't have that much allergy. But the thing is that the air filter, oh, it gets dirty really quick. I mean, you put it put it on, and not even a week, it's already dirty. So I have to go find me another replacement. Filter in order. But it really does the job of really cleaning, purifying the room, whatever room is needed, even the bedroom, it could be the living room or whatever. But I still think that machine will help a lot of elderly people, a lot of children with that unifier for the advertiser. But the only thing that it's very hard to find the filter. I went to Home Depot and I went to get a copy, and then I asked them, where can I get this filter? And they said they don't have an order yet. I'm like, oh, okay. So it's really kind of, sometimes it's very discouraging. Sometimes it's like you get something for free, and yet you have to find something that's not available to get on the spot. So when you talk about marketing, we need to be educated here for our youth as well as our elder, because they have breathing problem. They have to breathe through what do you call it, sleep apnea thing, go through their nose, or the breathing problem, or whatever it may be, but still will help a lot of beneficial for them. But that's all. But I'm more focused on advertisement. What are you going to plan to advertise? I haven't seen any agency. I haven't seen any mail come to our door, and I look. Oh, we have something advertised for the outfield. You know what I mean? That's all. Thank you.
So this is Cassandra, and thank you, Douglas, because you brought up some really good points. So to address your first concern in terms of advertising and where are we advertising, it's only in the northern counties, San Joaquin County and Stanislaus County. Today, they authorize paid advertisement through all social media platforms. So that way we can have a more targeted audience, and we're paying for that to make sure that folks in those two counties are seeing that this grant is available. So that answers that question. We're not doing the other counties. And then to address your second question about the concern of finding the replacement filters for the air purifier, that was brought up during our first go round, because this used to be a pilot program and we were testing the waters to see what was going to work. And that was the number one concern, was how can we ensure that folks are able to easily find this. And so I want to say the answer to that question was that when you receive your unit, you're getting information on that, because there's a direct website that you can go online, and their filters are available in abundance. So you can go on and place an order and have it shipped to your home. Those things were thought out because, like you said, depending on where you live, your filter may get dirty a whole lot quicker than other people. It just depends on location. And it also gives you a sense of what kind of air quality, you're being subject to. So those are great questions, and we tried to, handle that to the best of our ability and ensure that folks can easily find their replacement filters. And instead of, like I said, they don't have to go to a department store, they could just go online and be able to purchase that. Yes, Douglas.
Excellent. I really, okay. Also, can you mind? Cause since I was the first pilot got this. I don't have that information. All I remember that when I got the box, I had the extra filter came with it, but there was not really that many instruction for me to look at or where to go and see it, but like a website. So if that happened until after this, it happened when we first got it, that's going to be somewhere later down the line that there are people already received that information already than the one who already got the previous pilot machine. That's all I'm asking. I'm looking. That's all I'm saying. But thank you.
Yes, so this is Cassandra. So yes, during that pilot program, these were things that we learned. And so you were correct. When residents received their unit, they just got the unit and they got the replacement filter, and that was it. And so after that program had launched, and then once we got feedback from residents saying, hey, we would like to know where we could find this, we're like, okay, that's a great valid point. Let's find a way that we can distribute that information. So for this new one that's currently open, that just opened on Monday, when they receive their unit, they will get instructions on how they can then purchase the replacement filter all online. They don't need to go to a department store. They don't need to leave their home. The website is there on their information. So unfortunately, though, like I said, the first pilot program, that was a learning curve for us and how these things were going to work out. And then we were slowly making it better for now this new program that just launched. So back to, so given the fact that we've discussed the different routes of, trying to advertise this information to friends and family and peers, are there any other suggestions outside of what has already been mentioned that you think would be, beneficial for us to pursue and try to get the word out?
Hi, Brianna here. I just want to share that I did put in a social media request to have the program promoted. So that will hopefully be going live sometime next week, and that will be published on the PHS Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And so I sent that in English and Spanish. I pretty much took the ones that you guys are posting on the Air District page and tweaked it a little bit. I did notice that for the Spanish caption, when they click on the application, it takes them to the English form, not the Spanish one. So when I tweaked it, I did change the language and made sure that the link took them to the Spanish application, not the English one. So that was another thing that was one thing I noticed. So that's done. But an idea that I have is, I'm not sure if you guys have connected with the City of Stockton community centers. I know they have food distribution. Some of them are food distribution sites, and the ones that do reside in the AB boundary map are Stribley and Van Buskirk. So I think it would be a good idea if maybe someone from the Air District or even some of us from the Outreach Committee can go during the food distribution sites, maybe with an iPad or something, and promote the program and help them fill out the form at that moment. But I know that an issue is that they may not have their proof of residency with them. So maybe we can tell them they can take a picture or email it to someone over at the Air District who can help get that information submitted.
That's a great idea.
This is Stephanie. Brianna, I'm wondering, do you have direct contacts for either of those community centers? I'm sure we could also look it up, but if there's anyone. Okay.
Yes, I do. This is Brianna. I don't recall. I think I did send it to someone in the Air District already, but I don't mind resending it. I do have a contact for those. And Public Health, our CalFresh Healthy Living team does attend those food distribution sites because we do classes, and they get a lot of people. I mean, the line usually wraps outside of those community centers. So I think those would be good locations to promote this opportunity. But yes, I'll go ahead and send over Stephanie's contact information. Her name is Stephanie too, by the way.
Cool. This is Stephanie. Thanks, Brianna. And we can connect, of course, with Stephanie as well, but we're happy to maybe share like a bunch of flyers need to maybe pass out at all of those events too.
And
Go ahead,
then
Doug.
Douglas, go ahead, Douglas.
Thank you. I think that's really awesome. I was wondering that because I know that Stockton having a lot of events coming up. This coming event right now, we have music in the park, and there's a lot of family good there, a lot of adult senior citizen, everything, and we should have like an information booth there as well. I believe they have it every week on Tuesday. I'm not sure because last week we had I think Mara might know that, but I think probably it was last Tuesday when they had an open museum in the park and other things going on. I know they're going to have a movie night coming up pretty soon, which I know that's coming up, every year, during the summertime and everything. So it's going to be a lot of events in Stockton that we're going to use a table for the ABC 17 subcommittee, for that information for the air filter direction. But the meanwhile, while I'm in there, make sure to give me a copy of the link as well, so I could go and order another one myself to email it to me later. But that's all, and that's what I'm more concerned about. I just don't think that we have to pay that much to advertise, but since, you could get, you still could reach out to the community free if we know it's the right event we need to go to. Thank you.
Yeah, and I just want to say that it is Wednesday nights, Douglas, every Wednesday for the rest of the summer in Victory Park. There's music in the park. I think it's 6 o'clock. Is it 6 o'clock?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Yeah, and that's a really good idea, because that's the area. And I just wanted to say I appreciate that Douglas brought up the filters, because I was on the first pilot program as well, and yeah, the filters, they're supposed to last for so long, but they don't last that long because the air is really dirty here. Okay. But I got my packet of flyers yesterday, so I really appreciate those coming out. And I didn't I thought there was, I was a little more relaxed about it than the last time. With the first pilot project, I sent emails to everybody I knew in the area. And this one felt like it wasn't the same kind of, it's going to go away really quickly, but to hear that Fresno and Madera are already closed is really a little shocking. So I guess I need to get on it. But who sets up the table? Who sets up air district tables for these kinds of events?
This is Cassandra. So that goes through our team outreach. It depends on how many individuals are going to be there, because we'd be coming from Fresno. So we have to make sure that we are capturing our target audience and that there's a lot of people there. And if it meets that criteria, then of course we will try to make it out there. If it's a little bit of a smaller venue where, there's like 25 people or something, then given the fact that it's so far, we will try to partner with somebody else and ask, hey, can we send you all the materials and can you put this out for us? But yeah, if it's a big event and we're gonna, be in contact with the appropriate people that are needed, then it's something that we can prioritize and get out there. And then somebody from our team, more than likely be me, would head out there and set up a table and, try to outreach to all the folks.
Thank you.
So speaking on that, subject, we can transition really quickly, actually, because this is something that I know the team has been wanting in terms of events and being able to catalog and find a way. Hold on, let me pull this up. Let me share my screen. So I just kind of want to pick your guys' brains and see your thoughts. I know that previously there was a outreach tracker that was on the website, but that one just kind of is outdated. And so moving forward, this is something we want to track very closely. And we were thinking the easiest way to be able to do this, because previously before you'd have to tell somebody at the Air District, then they would input it, and then we'd pass it off to, you know, the CSR team, and then they would post it. That's just a bunch of work. We want to make it easy where you guys can go online, and if you hear about something, you can input an event, the date, the location, the hours, expected number of attendees, and then any additional information. And then we can kind of, our team will then look at it and do a little bit more digging to see, okay, does this meet all the criteria that we can send a member to? And if not, then again, can we partner with somebody up in the northern counties to at least distribute some information? So this is what we've come up with so far. And I know back in April in the in-person meeting, we had asked the question at one of the tables, you know, what are some events that you guys are going to? What are some events that you would like to see us at? And somebody brought up the Stockton UOP powwow, which is in September. So I have that listed on here. And so my question is, you know, we've also attended some other events. How do we want this tracker to work? Because I can go in there and I can input the events that we have already attended for AB 617. So that way we can see a running list of things that we've been at. Or do you guys just want to start fresh from now and then we keep track of that? Just trying to kind of get a sense of how we want to best utilize this to make it a tool that's useful for all. Yes, Douglas.
I don't quite understand what you're trying to say. Are you asking what are you trying to get a particular group or group of people to that qualify for, not qualify, that is specialized for the air filter? That's what you're asking?
No, so this is Cassandra. No, this is for all outreach events. So for any type of AB 617 grant that would be available, or any type of grant at all that would be available for the Stockton area and for the AB 617 group, we're searching to see what other outreach events are you aware of? Because we only hear of a couple things that we get invited specifically from organizations and groups. They'll reach out to us and say, hey, we're hosting this event. We'd like to see you there. And so then, you know, that's when we decide, like, do we have the manpower to be able to send somebody up that way? But with you folks being there, you know, on the ground and a lot closer, you might hear of more outreach opportunities than what we are privy to. And so we wanted to create a tracker that would be a tool for you guys and for us. So that way we could be on the same page, working cohesively as to the events that are occurring in the Stockton area.
Right, okay, but the only thing that I can see that is a good resource is visiting Stockton. You know, they're the one that sometimes they have events that allow come in, like the baseball, the football, or well, not football, the soccer. I mean, and we're now in Victory Park, so it's a really a big park now. Everybody's there now, and a lot of family. Everybody is having practice for soccer. The other one playing baseball. The other one playing basketball. The other one having a barbecue. They're all packed already, you know, for the summer. So it's always going to be busy, and people are walking along the trail of Victory Park. I I know that the event is popping up. It's like last minute thing. If I find out like 3 days, somebody invited me to go, hey Doug, let's go to a lowrider car show. You know, that's gonna be at the Miracle Mile. They're gonna have a little event there. You know, so it's kind of like jump out of nowhere, and I know it's kind of really hard to try to relate to you. Oh, it's something coming, but it's gonna be like almost like the last minute for you guys to make arrangement to come over and do the venue. You know what I mean? So and that's the only thing I noticed that I have seen when things come like now tomorrow is Pride in Lodi. Okay, so and next following week, you know, there's one in Sacramento, but that's the main part. But as far as Stockton, they have the Pride coming up in September that I know. So, but it still have consistency on it every year. But there's a lot. Sometimes they get a lot of car show, art exhibit, you know, wine show, all those things that are coming up in the spirit of the moment. And I think Margot probably knows a lot more than I do too, because I know she's very involved, heavily involved in that to do. So that's it. Thank you.
This is Cassandra. So Doug, thank you. And you brought up a good point. So the events that we would also have to attend would have to be tied somehow to like air quality. So going out to the car shows and stuff like that, unfortunately, we would not be able to make it out to. But those type of events, if there's going to be, you know, somebody else from the group or other organizations that are up there that we could partner with to give them information and just set it on their table, you know, we would gladly do that and have everything shipped up that way. So, and I do understand that some events do pop up last minute, but you never know unless you ask, you know, and so that's, we want to have something here that we can utilize and just see like, okay, the air district cannot go. Is there anybody from the committee that maybe can go, or they know that, you know, other employers are going to be out there and we can send the information. So just anyway, yes, Margot.
Yeah, I think I think this would be a good tool. I would like to see past events on this tool as well. I think that's important, maybe even with some idea of, you know, how many people we connected with. And I also think that this tool would be good to bring up at our CSC meeting, just because to remind people that it's here, very brief, just food for thought. What new events have people heard of recently, and which ones are you willing to reach out to, kind of thing. Just food for thought. And yeah, I know it's hard.
This is Cassandra. Well, thank you, Margot. Those are some great some great insights there that we can definitely implement. And so I can backfill and put in the older events that we attended, and then we can just keep a running list. And then, like you said, during the CSC meetings, you know, showcase this to see if anybody else in the room has heard of anything. Because like I said, many people, you know, some events, not everybody is privy to. So any way that we can just kind of share this information. But I want to make it as easy as possible where, you know, even you could go on there and log on and put all the information in there, and then we'll see it and then be like, oh, this got inputted, and, you know, maybe this is something that we do. So just we're hoping to create some sort of tool that is beneficial to both sides.
I thought there were more upcoming events already on the tracker. Am I wrong? Was there Juneteenth, and was there I don't know if July 4th. Is there a July 4th thing, Douglas? I can't remember what Stockton does these days.
Yeah, there will be a July parade on the 4th. Yes, I'm a member of the VSW, so yes, we're going to be having that this year. Depending on, I think also I believe what's his name, Tim Yulum, the photographer, is the grand marshal for that parade too. So that'd be good. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
And then Brianna, you have a question?
Yes, I just wanted to share that I love Margot's idea about sharing this tool with the CSC. I think that's a great idea. And then also I wanted to add that I do have a few events that I'm aware of. I know that the Housing Authority of San Joaquin County, they're putting together these back to school backpack jamborees. And so they're doing one at Conway Homes and they're doing one with Sierra Vista. And so the one for Conway, and I can forward this to you guys.
We
is-
actually have that. We'll
oh,
be
you guys
attending
do?
those.
Oh,
Yep.
okay, perfect,
So,
perfect.
yep. In fact, that was my next thing because I do have, you know, on the Air District side, we keep track of all events for everything that we do. And I've got a little side section for AB 617 and Stockton. And those two events were on there. We will be participating. So, yes.
Okay, yes. And like Margot said, also Juneteenth. I'm not sure if you have that one on your list that you have, but that one's on June 17th at Weber Point Event Center.
You know, when I was looking at it, Brianna, it was a very costly tabling event. I don't know if they do different for the Air District, but
Oh, really?
it surprised me what they were charging for vendors. But it may be different knowing that the Air District wants to share the information.
We'll look
Yes.
into that.
I know a few PHS programs are tabling, but I'm not aware of a cost.
That
This
would
is
be good.
me. Sorry, to clarify, is this on the 19th? Is that what you said, Brianna?
17th,
The
June
17th.
17th, yes.
Okay.
Oh, actually, it says a deadline to submit the application is today.
Hey, good timing. Yeah.
Okay. Let's pull that one up and check it out. Okay, so then I will, oh, sorry, this is Cassandra. I will work on including the past AB 617 events that we've done. So that way we've got a running list and then the new upcoming ones. And then we'll slowly start to build this tracker with, you know, things that you guys hear, things that we hear, and it hopefully will be a good tool that we can both utilize. Moving on, the next discussion point was to talk about wildfire outreach strategies. So brainstorming ideas for working with community members. Again, you know, we have our, we rely heavily on social media when there's a wildfire event. We rely on social media to get the information out. We send out press releases to the county health officers and to all news stations for the impacted areas, just trying to find ways to get information out. At events, it's also something that we do. During the CSC meeting, I had given a presentation and showed the marketing piece that's in 3 different languages. It's in English, Spanish, and Hmong. And we have it as a regular, you know, marketing piece that we can hand out. And then we also have them in magnets so they can put it up on their refrigerator. And it just reminds folks that, you know, things that they can do to create a safe space within their home during wildfire events. Are there any other ideas for us to just get that information out to folks that you guys can think of, or other organizations that we can partner with?
You guys got in contact with Reinvent South Stockton. I know they have a newsletter that they send out to their residents.
I'm sorry, Brianna, what was the name of that again? Sorry.
Reinvent South Stockton.
Do they reach out to all the residents in South, within their boundary, Brianna?
Yes, they do.
Okay.
Wow.
And they do have a newsletter that goes out. Let me look for their contact information and I can send that over along with Stephanie's with City of Stockton.
That would be
A great
awesome.
resource.
This is Stephanie. If I could, sorry, Cass, if I could add really quickly, there's several organizations in which I think we know of that we'd love to connect with a little more personally. I think This would be one of them. If anyone also has any contacts, maybe I'll just put a plug in for like, if anyone works with folks at El Concilio or Apsara that they have direct contacts with, those are two folks that we'd love to, I think, get a hold of and work with for clean air rooms and then potentially wildfire outreach. And I think it is hard. Like, I think when there's organizations that are really busy and small that don't necessarily, if we're just emailing their general line, it might not get to the right person. So if you all have any direct contacts with any of those groups, please feel free to share with us.
Who were the two you mentioned, Stephanie? You said El Concilio and
Apsara.
pardon?
Apsara. So it's the Asian Pacific Self-Development and Residential Association, which I think Jonathan had told us a little while ago about connecting with Apsara, but I don't think he had given us at the time a contact. I think it was just an organization he knew that kind of worked in the community.
Okay.
This is Brianna. Yes, we actually used to work really closely with Apsara, but they've been a little MIA and we haven't heard from them in a while.
Okay.
But I do have a contact information. Maybe you can reach out to him and see if he'll get back to you. I don't remember the name from the top of my head, but I know it's somewhere in my emails. And El Concilio, the programs that I'm in, we don't work too much with them, but I know our emerging disease program does. So I can ask if they can share someone's contact that you can reach out to for that as well.
And if she does, I have I got some information for the contact for, we work with them with the Martin Luther King program every year.
Oh. There you go.
Thank you, Brianna, and thank you and welcome, Everett.
Everett, you just came on the phone and Cassandra had put up a tracker earlier for events that happen in the city. So you want to pop it up again, Cassandra, and just to keep in mind where there might be events when there ought to be outreach with like the air purifiers that are going out now and the wildfire information, just food for thought.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. So this is Cassandra, and just to kind of catch you up real quickly, Everett, this is a tool that we're going to place online that anybody from the CSC can hop on and input an event if you hear about it. And so it's all listed with the event name, date, location, hours, expected number, and then additional comments. And then our team can then take a look. Every event that lands on here, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to go to in person. There's a couple of criteria things that would need to occur in order for the air district to be able to make it out there. It does have to be an event that ties to air quality. So it sounds like Stockton is really, really lively and does a lot of, movies in the park and things of that nature. And something like that, unfortunately, I don't think we'd be able to attend. But if you know of any other organizations that are going to be out there, we would gladly reach out to them and see, hey, we hear you're going to be at this event. Can we ship you some materials to just lay on your table? So that way the information is at least there. And, we can try and get the word out. But this is a tool that, we want both parties to be able to use, the air district and the CSC members, and just a way to kind of keep us in the know. I had mentioned that unfortunately not all events we're not privy to. Certain organizations will reach directly out to us and say, hey, we're hosting this event. We'd love to see you out there. But then other things we don't hear of. And so that's why we want to make it accessible to you guys, because you guys are the boots on the ground in that community and can let us know things that we just haven't been privy to. So that's kind of the thought process of this. Yeah. Okay.
I'd just like to say I might be a little bit too late for the Juneteenth. That's going to be June the 19th. We have the Juneteenth would be at, I do believe it's going to be at the waterfront, and that would be something that we could, if we had got the information in time, we could get it out there to them. I'll be there, and then in August, I think it's in August, we do the Martin Luther King barbecue. It's a free barbecue we do. We'll probably have it at Stribley Park this year. So that's how for the Ministers of Community United. And so we have everybody there come by and get free barbecue. So that's another one that's going to be, so that might be the one I'll be able to catch. All right, thank you.
What tabling will you be doing at the Juneteenth, Everett? This is Margot.
I will be working with the committee itself.
Oh,
And,
excellent.
Yeah,
Well,
then we do our community. We have a poet that he's there, and then we have the community, the community Minister of Community United. We will have a table there too.
okay, because we talked about Juneteenth just before you logged on, and
Okay.
today's the deadline for getting a notice in, so it's probably getting a table is not going to happen, but getting the
Well, I can if you want one, I can get you one there if you need one. Just let me know. You know, I believe I can have that contact.
Okay, Cassandra, that's for you to.
Okay.
I'll have to take this back to Jamie and we'll look into this. But if not, Everett said he'll be there. So we can always send him some information if we can't physically be there.
You got it. Okay, sure.
Great.
I'm a little confused. What do you mean? Are you referring to the air filter table? Or are you referring to the Wi-Fi outreach strategy? What that
This
mean?
is Cassandra. Sorry, this is Cassandra. So no, any of these events are going to be purely just for all grants that are available. All grants for Stockton and all grants for AB 617 residents.
Okay, now I remember I sat in American Country with Disability, and I remember we used to bring the PG&E where they talk about wildfire and how they bring a representative and they talk about the safety. If let's say the light goes out and you need to come up with oxygen tank or air breathing devices or lighting devices or whatever they need, that's when you start educating the community. The fire, I remember getting that over at in the library. You know, people go and get information and listen. And they're free. You go in, you go to the conference room, and you can talk about fire, how to strategize, how you protect yourself, how fire event from smoke or whatever. And that'd be a great way of reaching out. I would like to see some organization take advantage of those situations like that and be part and just able to be part of the community. I think the organization will be the best models, like like the city of Stockton when they take care of the homeless. Who take care of the homeless? The nonprofit, the people that the state Cactus Diner and all that stuff are doing a great job. The same thing with this type of information with wildfire. I think organization themselves could be the best candidate for them, or a little bit of help from you guys with all the resources that they can accumulate and discuss about it. Okay, this is what we need, this is what we need to do, and things like that. And I think that's something I definitely need to have that recommendation because people forget once in a while, and that was a wonderful education response from the PG&Es. That's it. But I don't know if it's the same thing, the same pilot, but I definitely think it should be more wildfire strategy. Would that mean, working with the community storm, you know what I mean? So that depends on what you have in mind.
This is Cassandra. Douglas, no, that's a great suggestion. We've been contacted by other county libraries for air quality presentations. And so I've forgotten that exists because it's been a while because they reach out to us, but we could definitely turn the tables and reach out to them and see, hey, do you have a spot open? We'd love to come and talk to you about, prepping for wildfire and air quality education and then grants that are available. So I like this because we have done this in the past. It's just been a while. So that is something we can definitely follow up on and reach out to those libraries and see. So thank you so much for that. Okay, so any other suggestions or thoughts? I think we've got some good stuff here. So next steps, our next meeting will be in August, Friday, August 18th. And topic for discussion we were thinking is maybe school outreach strategies back to school, because schools will be getting back into session. And so again, it'll be another great way to target the parents of these communities, and just get, information out to them. So that'll be on the docket. Are there any other suggestions that you guys might have, things that you guys want to pursue? We've got great things here that we can pursue. I'm excited about that.
Does this committee look at outreach to on the other issues that don't address the individual, for instance, the electric chargers and where they're being put in? And is there outreach going on to various entities where we hope to put that, or the outreach to the heavy duty truck businesses? Does the air district handle that separately than for instance this subcommittee?
You're gonna take that one?
Yeah, I'll hop in. This is Stephanie. That's a great question, Margot. I definitely think if this group is interested in discussing that, we can plan to use this space to talk about outreach. As an update about EV chargers, I think most of you that were at the in-person April meeting might remember there was like a table that had a map and some suggested locations for where folks wanted to see chargers, in addition to kind of working with what San Joaquin County San Joaquin Council of Governments SJCOG is already doing in that space as well. Our grants team has that information and has been working on reaching out to folks, so we can plan to bring an update at the next meeting. For the heavy duty trucks thing, Margot, so heavy duty trucks outreaching to potentially, like, I think maybe you're talking about reaching out to owners and operators to get them interested in the program. We can definitely, I think that would be great to discuss in that heavy duty truck subcommittee that we do have. Just because I know, and Margot, I know you were at that meeting, but there's potentially some interesting developments with who can apply and what kind of the eligibility of the program as well. I think you were in that meeting in which we discussed it. So I definitely think that's a space we can plan to hold in that heavy duty truck subcommittee. But yeah, if there's other CERT measures that you all are interested in discussing, like that outreach for, we can definitely do that in the subcommittee. In addition, I think if you weren't at the last CSC meeting, we did discuss reallocating funds for residential lawn and garden. So that's replacing older lawn equipment with new electric units. That funding, so the CSC had voted to reallocate funds. So something we'd like to do in the coming months, and potentially August would be a great time, is to discuss what an event might look like in the community for that, because we have done it in Fresno and we've done it in Shafter really successfully. But we would of course want to work with you all on that specific measure and that specific event.
Yeah, I thought at the CSC meeting they discussed, but Jessica was saying this, who's going to be out, of course, that potentially having an event in September. Was that not? Yeah, that was that event, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
that events stress me out, planning events, so I have to give me a year to plan. So but I just, if you think August is time enough to do it, then that's great. But finding the venue is sometimes
Yeah, and Margo, this is Stephanie, not to stress you out. We of course at the district side, where it would be our responsibility to kind of look into those things. We are not going to bring to this group kind of the heavy lifting of logistics planning.
Okay.
So we'll plan, I think it might make sense that we'll have details planned out, and then we'll work with you on who are we going to reach out to, who other people, should we partner with other organizations and bring them to this event, that kind of thing. Stuff that maybe isn't such a heavy lift for the group.
Yeah, that's right. You were going to reach out to the store that might handle the inventory.
Mm-hmm. All that side, working with manufacturers to bring the units, all that we won't with anyone in CSC to do. But yeah, if you all have any, I think because Cassandra and I are noting it now, but if you all have any topics that you also want to add to kind of a pending list that we'll keep that you all want to discuss. I already heard from Margot EV chargers. We'll plan a heavy duty truck subcommittee in the coming months to discuss that measure. And then I just had mentioned the residential lawn and garden event. But in addition to those, if there's anything else you all want to discuss in August or coming months, feel free to let us know.
Do you table at home shows? No, okay.
This is Stephanie. Do we go to one in Fresno?
No, so this is Cassandra. We went to that was the fair.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, we've gotten a lot of requests for home shows, but the commitment, because they're typically multiple days, and it's just a little difficult to get people out there for that. So unfortunately, we haven't been able to go to home shows.
Yeah.
Yeah. All righty, so it's 3:01. I don't want to keep you guys hostage. We've got some great notes. I thank you so much for your feedback and for all of your input. And yeah, so we have everything and we're going to start working on this. And if you guys can think of anything else, email us, let us know. We'll get that tracker available up online. Thank you, Brianna and Everett, for your contacts and your support. And you guys enjoy the rest of your Friday and have a safe weekend.
And I want to
Thank
thank you all
you.
for, joining me and working with me on my holiday, on my birthday. Have a great day. And a
Oh,
great
happy
Hey.
birthday, Everett.
Happy birthday.
Happy
It's
birthday.
your birthday.
You know, Everett, it's those Gemini people that.
And my wife's birthday is a day we're a year and a day apart, so her birthday is Sunday.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
The Bible, I just left the 66 books, went to 67. All right. You guys have a great day. Love you guys and be safe.
Y'all
All right.
have a great weekend.
Enjoy your weekend, everybody.
All right.
Bye.
Bye,
Hey,
everyone.
good to see you, man.